the Nogales Library Board of Trustees. This is our regular meeting for December the 14th. We'll now go on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Luis, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Luis. We'll now proceed to item 3 on the agenda, the adoption of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda of Wednesday, December the 14th, as presented, with the exception that on discussion items number 6, book Save Lives update by Anna Doan. Anna Doan was injured on the ice this morning, so she won't be present today. And item 8, the minutes, we're going to postpone them until January. Correct, Judah?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. So the item 6 and item 8 will be tabled on the agenda. And on item 5, Anna Doan is making a presentation, scheduled to make a presentation for the reception that we've been working on. And Danitza will be making that presentation in her place, but there will be a presentation. So with those 3 suggested items there, I'll accept a motion to adopt the agenda as presented and tabled.
Motion to approve.
Motion,
Second.
Brian, motion by Brian, seconded by Ed, to approve the agenda of December the 14th as presented, to include the tabling of item 6, the tabling of item 8, and that the discussion on item 5 for the reception by Anna Doan is going to be made by Danitza in her place. Discussion? Objections? Motion carried. We'll now proceed to item 4, the call to the public. Danitza, anybody that slips for call to the public?
None at this time, Chairman.
We'll proceed to item 5, discussion items. Item number 1, Sonoida Building Update, Juan Valderas. Danitza?
Juan Valderas hasn't arrived, so we will be tabling that
Okay.
discussion items, Chairman.
And he indicated to you that he was going to be here, correct? Okay, so maybe he'll come later. Item 2, security issues. Lieutenant Gallegos. Welcome, Lieutenant Gallegos.
Thank you, Dr. Varona. Good morning, Dr. Varona, members of the board. Some of the security issues within the last couple of months that I looked up into, we had just about 3 traffic stops that around the library area, and then we did have a property damage that occurred there at the library, which was on November the 8th, and it pertained to tagging. They tagged ES on the walls there. We did check the surveillance cameras on that, and we were unable to find any suspects on this occasion. On the 13th of November, officer made contact with a female. I'm guessing it was probably might have been a homeless female. It was at about 10:30 in the evening, and she checked out okay. The other, probably the highest, the greatest incident that we had there was on November 3rd, which was a broken window. I don't know if you guys were aware, there was a broken window to a car, I think it was a truck, from a county truck that was they broke the window. The door was wide open. On this occasion, an officer had responded to the Americana to disperse a male subject that was loitering at the Americana, which is now the Quality Inn, right? So he went. He dispersed. Actually, he gave him a ride to the port of entry. As he's going to the port of entry, he looks over to the library and notices a door to a vehicle that was wide open, and since he had the subject with him, he called in other officers to go and check it out. So he dropped off the male subject at the border, and they come back and they notice that the door was wide open and the window was cracked, was broken. It did not appear that anything was taken from inside of the truck. It belonged to a county truck. They looked at the surveillance cameras, right, on this date, and saw everything as far as the subject picking up a rock and going towards the truck and breaking the window. December 3rd, which was three days later, we get another call. This one is on Sonoita Avenue, which is by the border, right, of a male subject that was breaking into a white pickup truck. The officers responded and located a subject. Based on what the subject was wearing, they positively ID'd that subject was the same subject that had broken the window to that other vehicle at the library. So he ended up getting detained, but actually the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office declined incarceration because of medical issues. I guess he had some type of swelling and infection on his arms, so they wouldn't accept him. So he was referred to the county attorney's office for prosecution at a later date. So we found out who that person was. Obviously, as you guys are aware, we do have issues with homelessness that's on the rise, and the issues with drugs that fentanyl. I know you guys are well aware that it's has increased, and it's at high levels now. So that's basically all we had here at the library. Do you guys have any questions or any?
Thank you for your report, Lieutenant Gallegos. Jerry, do you have any comments, questions, or concerns?
No.
Brian?
One question, not specifically to your report, but to the break-in in the library months ago in the summer.
Oh, yes. I
Was
forgot
there
to mention.
any further update on that?
We, based on the surveillance footage of that one, we had information or belief at the time that we thought it was an ex-employee. Based on the footage, we were unable to determine that it was that ex-employee for sure. So that case is still open. We don't have any strong leads on that case at this time. But that case is currently with our criminal investigations division, and I think I touched up with them before I came here, and it was there's still no suspects on that. There was no fingerprints that we could lift or DNA on that incident. So that case is still open.
Okay, thank you.
Ed?
Brian just raised the question that I had.
Okay. Mara? Juanita?
The break-in of the car at the library, the broken window, was that a patron's car? Was that after hours? I didn't get
That was a Santa Cruz County vehicle. Why it's parked there, I'm not sure. But
Why it
they
was
park
there?
it overnight. I guess they park it there overnight.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. So
You want to answer that?
Yeah, that vehicle was given to the library 5 years ago, so we could so staff could move around the city. So it belongs to us, and we did get that broken window fixed.
oh.
All right. Lieutenant Gallegos, thank you for the report. Also, the first week of March, we're scheduling our reception for our 100th year celebration at the library. It's going to be from 5 to 7, and we're going to have the Santa Cruz County mobile library van there. We'd like to know if you could help us with security on that day to close off the front early there of the library, so we can put that bus in there and then provide security in the back of the library there, because we're going to ask everybody to park in the back there. And we're limiting the invitations to about 75 individuals because of the fire marshal's request that we can only have like 100 individuals there. But with everybody else, the caterers, the musicians, and everybody else, and the board, it'll be reaching its capacity at that time. So if you could just put it down and coordinate, Danitza will coordinate with you. If you could please provide us for security for those 2 hours on that day.
Okay, and it's March,
March
March 2nd.
2nd, and it'll be from 5 to 7 at the library there.
and it's a 100-year anniversary.
Anniversary, yeah, that's the reception, and it will have a catered and music, but we limited it just to 2 hours there.
Okay, so I'm gonna provide this information to we have a new lieutenant who came in recently here, Lieutenant Bermudez, and he's responsible for all special events.
Okay?
So I'll let him know, and then I'll forward you Danitza as well, the information.
And if in January, you could give us an update during your report though, too.
Okay, January.
Yeah, we meet on January, our next meeting is scheduled for January the 11th at 10:30 here. Okay?
Sounds good.
Lieutenant Gallegos, thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule to appear before this board. And we look forward to hearing your presentation in January, especially to help us make that 100-year celebration a successful event.
Thank you, Dr. Warner.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Okay, we'll now proceed to item 3, main library exterior painting. Danitza?
With the help of Carlos Millán, the facility supervisor, we were able to obtain, 2 companies have come and looked at the roof. I am waiting on quotes. One company does not work with plaster or stucco to help out with the burnt adobe, but I'm waiting on another company to take another look and send over quotes.
Okay. Jerry?
No
Brian?
questions. Nothing.
Ed?
No question.
Marva?
None.
Juanita?
No.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 4, presentation, Children's Library, Laura Rodriguez, and Teen Space, Luis Oviedo. We're going to start with the library, Laura Rodriguez, if you please approach.
Good morning. Well, as
Does
every
somebody have
month,
their phone on? Excuse me.
what?
Move it towards you. And turn it on, Laura. I thought the lieutenant will, you have to press that button right there into the bottom. There you go.
Yeah. Good morning. Well, as every month, we had Lego time in the children's area at the Nogales Library. Every Thursday at 3:15. And also this month we had art and craft activities twice a month. Last week we have the first one. We had like 10 kids. And we're gonna have a Christmas play today at the library for the kids. The Nogales high school students are going to perform the play for the kids.
Good.
Okay, you are all invited. Okay,
What time is that at, Laura?
at 3:30. I'm gonna pass the flyers over here. And I have the calendar. And we still have homework tutoring from Monday to Thursday, from 2 to 5.
Good. How's your attendance been there at the Children's Library? Did you guys finish with the remodeling and the new carpet and everything?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, some days we have a lot of people, some days it's empty, so it depends.
Okay. Juanita? Myra? I have no comment. Ed?
No question.
Brian? Nothing. Jerry?
No.
Okay. Danita, do you want to add anything?
It's going to come up in the report, but staff has been very busy, like here and doing outreach and going to the casitas, which we'll talk about later. But even if people do not go to the library, we are doing outreach. We are going
That's the point.
we're going out.
They're not sitting idle here.
Oh, no, no. Staff has been great.
Okay, Laura, thank you very much for
You're
your
welcome.
presentation. Luis, you all set?
Good morning, members of the board. I'm going to pass out some papers regarding all the information of the November statistics presentation.
Go ahead, Luis.
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and wait for everybody to go ahead and get one of the pamphlets. So we've been doing a lot of movement here in the teen space. We went ahead and got some new layouts. We've gotten a lot better at outreach programs. We've been working with a lot of the education systems that have been new to the city, Ed Options, Pinnacle. A lot of these different types of education systems, we've been actually really successful in getting them to come to the library, including homeschool, believe it or not. From what I've been led to understand, homeschooling was not a particularly interactive demographic with the library, but now we've been able to really get them a lot more involved as far as events and the space itself. We were involved in the decoration of the parade. We count that as outreach. We've been able to really get the name out there, the word out there that we're doing events, that there's movement there. If you guys, I believe it's the third page, we had approximately more than 150 teens interact with the program. As far as the outreach goes, we went to the College Blitz, where we interacted with over 150 students. And just been getting the word out there, telling them about the new technology that we have in the space.
Conclude, Luis?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions as far as the presentation goes, I'd be more than happy to address them.
Thank you, Luis. Juanita?
The social media
Yes, ma'am.
incorporation, can you give us some details on that?
Absolutely. So we are now using all of the modalities, if you will, of the social media. We have Facebook. We're trying to get into Instagram, more of these social media platforms. As far as social media itself, we have flyers. We're going to these to the Ed Options. We're interacting with these students. We're getting the word out. We're telling them to spread the word themselves. Mm-hmm. Word of mouth is a powerful tool, I believe.
Thank you.
Conclude, Juanita? Marva?
I had a question about the College Blitz. Do you actually get into applications and scholarships with the kids, or
Sorry?
do you actually get into scholarships and applications with the kids, or is it
So we
at a
don't,
stage before that?
we don't particularly involve ourselves in the specifics of their college educations as far as scholarships and what programs they have to do. All we do is we offer the ability for them to come and use the technology, come and use the internet. And if they do have any questions, we will more than gladly address them, but we don't have a scholarship from our group or a program that specifically targets that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But your question, Marva, is happening right now at the community college through PIMO. That's exactly what they're doing right now. Ed?
That was going to be my question. You just answered it, so
Okay.
no problem.
Brian?
Nothing, thank you.
Jerry?
What is the board game night? Is that a regular basis, and what does it
So board game,
consist of?
yeah, absolutely. So board game night is something that we've been trying to implement. As myself included, I'm particularly fond of sitting down and trying to think of a game. And nowadays that's becoming increasingly more difficult to try and get them engaged. But what we've found is that as long as we offer that ability to have that and have somewhere the space where they can explore that avenue, that's what we're trying to incorporate with the board game night. But yes, we are trying to have that more regularly.
And what are the board games, or what are?
We have, thanks to Denise, our budget has been fantastic. I've been able to get everything you can think of, from gin rummy to chess to baccarat to Monopoly. Whatever you want, we got it.
Luis,
Yes.
can you also share, I thought it was very interesting when you gave me a tour, the printer.
Yeah, so we were able to acquire a 3D printer for the teen space. As I've mentioned before, it is a relatively new and complex technology that we are trying to incorporate into the system itself. Like I said, it's very new. It is quite nuanced, and we are just trying to kind of establish a programming where we can teach the community how to use this technology, which I believe will be very much used in the future.
And if you, some of the printing that he's done over there, it's marvelous. He showed me a skull that they did and how you can incorporate that even into teaching and learning in the classroom. I mean, that 3D printer does marvelous things. I just think that he needs to share a lot more of this of what's going on in the community, because there's a lot of things that are happening in that teen space that I don't think the community is quite aware of what is exactly happening in there. There's a lot to be offered there. Also, Luis, you know, on your upcoming events, new spring events, did you highlight any new spring events?
So the spring events, as far as it pertains to that certain thing, it's we're just trying to do stuff outside. It is a library. It is a a quiet space. But one thing that I've learned working at the library now is that the responsibilities and the establishment of the library itself is changing a lot. From it used to be a quiet study space, now it's a space in which we're trying to get kids to express themselves, trying to get them to open their minds to learn a little more. And I believe that can happen just through them being outside, being exposed to the sunlight every once in a while. So as far as spring events pertain, we're just trying to do things outside, use the entirety of the space that we have. We have a beautiful gazebo outside that I think we could use a lot more. Unfortunately, it's kind of been overtaken by the homeless population, but I believe if we use that space more, it will be more open to the public.
I just found something out that I'm going to add to that, because we are going to start meeting in January, and I'm going to be mentioning this to Luis while right here. Ann Doan is not here, but through the ESSER grant, we're going to be thinking about teen think tanks. So we're going to be meeting starting in January with middle school counselors, middle school children, to start programs at the library. So that first meeting with Luis and Anna Doan and a couple of other members from the county, that's going to be January 10th. And from there, we're going to start establishing programs at the different libraries with the middle schools and gear up. So it's Teen Think Tank.
Good.
And piggybacking off what Denita said, we're trying to get the kids themselves to spread the word, because if, as you all know, if you come to someone, say, hey, do this, most of the times they're not going to do it. But if their friends, their own people tell them, hey, this is what's going on, it'll be more effective. So
That's a strategic marketing analysis there, to use them to market your place.
absolutely.
Brian, you had your hand up?
Yes, I wanted to talk a little bit about financing and the budget for your teen center. So I know that what really kicked it off was the $10,000 grant from 32 South. Have you spent all of that, or how are you anticipating expenses and being able to maintain this program once those funds have expired? And what are you thinking about in the future?
Oh, the grant was to help us create the space and get the furniture and everything. But once the grant is over, that space is incorporated. It's going to be part of the budget. So I'm not worried about that. And we do still have, I think like $3,000-$4,000 that I do have to expend by March. And as the meetings with the teen think tank expand and we hear what they want, what the teens want, what the counselors want, we'll incorporate that.
Matter of fact, one of the expenditures, Brian, when Luis gave me the tour, that money was used for, is people were sitting down in their seats reading a book, and I noticed that their telephones were plugged into the side of the chair. And I had to ask Luis, why is there electrical outlets on the side of the chair? Because everybody comes here to charge up while they're reading and everything. And you don't see that too often now. So those were new chairs that you bought from that grant, right?
Correct.
So, and how many chairs do you have? 3 or 4 of them?
Yeah, and just to add to that, we are trying to update the space. That is one of the tenets that we're trying to accomplish, is just get the space more more updated. Like he mentioned, we have technological couches. You can charge your phone. We also have a UV charging station that disinfects your phone. Yeah, there's a lot that's being incorporated at a slow pace, just because there's two different, you would call it, two different eras trying to come into one, and we're trying to move ahead with all these discrepancies.
Well, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on in the children's library that I've seen, and there's a lot going on in the teen space that I have seen over there. And they're really modernizing it. And it's called a teen space, but I saw a lot of adults sitting down on the chairs.
Yeah.
They're reading it, plugged into their phones, charging up to make sure that they don't miss a call or anything. It's just very unique. It's just great what they're going on. I see Laura and Luis having that vision, but more so personal excitement about their responsibilities. Anything else, Brian? Okay, I'm going to culminate by thanking both Laura and Luis for your presentations. We look forward to your they will be making a presentation to the board every other month. Okay, and I'm going to dismiss them right now because they're kind of shorthanded at the library, so they need to get back to the library. So thank you, Laura. Thank you, Luis, for your presentations. And thank you for the handout, Luis. This is very helpful for us, though, too. Okay. And tell Laura to have next time. Okay. Let's move on now to item 5, Centennial Celebration. Newspaper articles, Dan Fitzpatrick. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning. Go ahead.
We will need to be tabling that, Chairman Barona, because Nan was going to be here, but she had a doctor's appointment, and she will be here on the January 11th meeting to update everyone.
Okay, very good. Centennial banners, Marva?
I passed them around before the meeting, and Denitza and I will be working on getting an invoice and a purchase order in order to order 5,000 pamphlets and 20 banners. And then we'll be getting together on locations for the banners.
20.
Marva, can you do me a favor? Can you just hold it up so the camera is right there in front so that people can see? Because you've put a lot of effort in, and I love the colors on. If you can just hold it up so they can focus in.
This is the banner that will be hanging around town. This is the Spanish version. I don't have a large copy of the English.
That's okay. Just
But it'll look very much like this. And the pamphlet is down there somewhere,
there it is with Ed.
Ed. I don't think they can see this too good, but
They can get the idea.
the pamphlet starts on the front with 100 years, and that it's an anniversary. On the inside, it talks about how the library was started by the Women's Club in Nogales 100 years ago. On each side, on the inside, are pictures of all the activities at the library and some of the personnel, some of the staff, but mostly the activities that go on. And on the back, we have the 4 branches with telephone number and address, and then a quick review of how the Women's Club created the library.
Yes.
It's very interesting because they started from a little reading room and opened a little storefront downtown for several years, and then they moved around quite a bit before we got our wonderful facility in 1961. Thank you.
Okay. Marva,
Yes.
the board thanks you. You put a lot of hard work in it, and they're beautiful. I love the colors that you put. I think they're so attractive. I hope the people who make the banners can highlight those colors and everything, because I think that's the whole attraction. And the architectural structure of the current library is just wonderful. I really enjoyed that very much, and I know the community is going to enjoy that very much. I'm looking forward to seeing those banners.
Okay.
Any questions for Marva?
Yeah.
Jerry?
How many banners did you say?
20.
20.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll be deciding where
Okay.
they will allow us to put them. So that's still another step.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
So you're working on that. Maybe at the next presentation, you can tell us where they're going to be a possible. I know we're going to do one at Pearson because we've asked
Need a lot of help
at
from
Pearson
Denise on
already.
that. Yeah.
Okay, Denise, if we can do so. Okay, let's move on now to the book giveaway. Juanita?
We have collected 48 books, and we were going to make a selection of which libraries. We have 4 libraries, and there will be 3 books per month given away at 4 libraries for 4 months, 48 books. And so far, from donations and collections, we actually have 48. I'm hoping to, maybe get a few more so we can make a selection of some of the books. We'll do that probably today at the Friends meeting. And there are only 3 or 4 that need to be ordered, and I'll be talking to Denise about the ones that we need to order. And Anna Doan had ordered, I think, 12 copies, 4 copies of, Will Castro's book and Ronnie Capen's book.
Okay, good.
For, adults, and then the middle grade children. And then also we would, was it Tomas and the library lady? I think she ordered
yes.
4 copies of those. I'm not sure whether she's to be reimbursed or she's donating them, but we'll find out from her. Okay. So things are moving along. The library in Sonoyta is prepared to do the drawings, and I'm assuming the others are as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Juanita, for your presentation. Marva?
I have a question. Will the first drawing be in January, like at the end of January?
I
So
think
they'll have time to
exactly.
get the
I think it would have
tickets
to
in there?
be toward middle or
end
end so that
of
they
each
can,
month.
Yeah. They
till
can set
April,
it up
right?
and give a date. I think each library can determine, when they want to do
Oh,
the
okay.
drawing and make sure people know. And if possible, if you have like a children's section, you could have the children's drawing in that section so they would be aware of the books that they'll be drawing. Okay.
Ed?
Nothing.
Brian?
Nothing.
Jerry? Okay, thank you, Juanita. We're going to move on to reception with Ana Don. As I mentioned before, Ana Don called in ill today, so Danitza is very familiar because Danitza, Ana Don, and myself have been meeting, and there have been very successful meetings at the library over the reception. And so Danitza is prepared to give an update on that. Danitza?
And yes, Chairman, thank you. As had been mentioned, the reception will be on March 2nd from 5 to 7. It will be invite only. We are working on the invitation. Andone has a list. We're also going to have a musical interlude. I have David Hernandez, who used to go to NHS. He was in the mariachi. He was also in the band. He's going to be providing that. We have the list of the librarians. The Rockland family member is going to be speaking, and I've reached out to Nick's Diner for the quotes on the catering, waiting to hear back on that. And I'm going to have Denise talk about a little bit about the decorations.
Good morning. So the decorations for the library for the reception, we're going to focus on the 1920s. So we're going to have everything inside decorated with the 1920s. We are going to have a whole table full of the history of the library, including history of Nogales pertaining to the 1920s. We are going to do, I don't know if a Facebook ad or a little brochure asking the public to see if they have anything related to the library, because there's some patrons that might have things about the library that we don't have. So we do want to ask the public if they have anything regarding to the 1920s of Nogales, so they can lend us out and we can put it in the reception and then give it back. We're also going to get T-shirts for all staff members so they can wear during the centennial celebration. And that's it.
And I did forget, I apologize. Denise has been also a member of our committee there, and she's given us a lot of very valuable information all along the line there. I guess that's at the west side of the library where the computers are located. The computers will be removed, and all of that will be historical facts. That entire wall will be historical fact, so that people can walk down and see all the historical facts. And the teen center is going to be converted also. The teen center will be the serving area for there. And we've asked also Nichols Diner to have some stand-up booths that he's already looking at, where you can just go around and take your food and stand up and talk to people, mingle with people. And there'll be seating for our guest speaker. And I asked Anita to give you an update on the guest speaker.
The guest speaker is going to be Mr. Jay Rockland, right? That's what we're working on. And Andone is going to, Jay Rockland. So he's going to be the guest speaker. If that doesn't work out, we do have a backup plan to bring in the librarian from the U of A to talk about community library and what the library means. So that's the plan. That's the update for now. Any questions?
We've been working with, had a hard time locating Alberto Rios from Arizona State University, because we don't know if he's on leave or so, but we're having a hard time there. Ana was having a difficult time. So then we decided on a local person. So we decided to approach Jay Rockland on it to give us some insights, since the library is named after his father. And then in case that doesn't pan out, we have another backup, and to approach the University of Arizona librarian to come down and give us some historical facts, so too. So we're working on that. That's how come we kind of shift over to the March date. That's basically what we've done so far. We have another meeting scheduled for Tuesday next week. I just hope Ana didn't break anything, so there. But everything is turning out, so everybody has the date to put down on their calendars. They're working on the invitations right now, make nice formal invitations that'll be sent out by mid-February. And you'll get the invitation list in case you want to add somebody or anything. If you're thinking about anybody right now, please tell Danitza so that she knows who you want to invite special on your behalf, so that we can keep around our 75 limit and everything, okay? And the catering by Nichols Diner, it's going to be something nice, though, too. Okay, Danitza, I think you concluded too. Denise, you've concluded?
Yes.
Are there no other questions, comments, or concerns from the board?
I just have
Juanita, go ahead.
question. It's the Arizona State Library. Have you invited anyone from there? I know it's a long drive, but have you contacted them or let them know about it?
Yes, the head librarian will be invited. I know technical services librarian is going to be invited, and the children's state librarian is also going to be invited.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Ed, did you have something?
Yes, I had mentioned, I think I had mentioned earlier to you, Danita, but I know that I did at the office. Dr. Miguel Montiel was also an author, professor at the university, retired. He and his wife just finished a brand new book in the month of September. It's called World of Mothers, focusing on interviews through his career and his classes at the School of Social Work, reaching out to parents of immigrant families in particular for the region. And I asked him and inquired with him about being available at one of the dates that we would have available for him to make a presentation. And his wife, Dr. Yvonne Montiel, also would be the presenters on it. I just reviewed the book. I ordered the book through the library, and it's a very interesting content that they've done because it's community connected. And I thought it would be a good team to be able to work with. If there's any possibility to extend an invitation to them, I would encourage that.
Well, the first thing that we're having a problem with, Ed, everybody here is supportive of what you're requesting, but please get all of the information to them. Who these people are, their telephone numbers, every contact info, email addresses, because that's a problem that we're having, right? Everybody's suggesting, but they're leaving it up to us to get the information, and we're having a hard time with it. So if you want that, please get all the information to Danitza, and then she can take it from there. So as we develop the program, we know who's going to be there, and then we can develop the program for the event.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all.
Okay, I'm going to move on then to item 6, Book Save Lives update, Anadone, we've tabled that one. Library Friends update, Ed, Delcy, and Marva. Go ahead, Ed and Marva.
I just want to congratulate Marva and Juanita for taking the initiative on the La Casita on
Yes, very nice.
Karen Park. I was trying to think of the name. Karen Park. The weather hasn't cooperated with us, but the casita has held up. The lights are there, the information is there. I spent a couple of days just for an hour to see what people's reactions going by. And it's interesting that people are showing interest on that, and I just explained to them what Friends is. But the work that they did and got it off the ground and got two other ladies from the women's club to help us out in having the casita. So it turned out to be a very nice setting. Thank you.
Danitza, would it be possible before they take down, the city is going to take those down right after, Judy, right after Christmas, right? Could you get that casita that Marva and Juanita did and put it aside and put it out in the front of the library for our reception? Okay? We'll try to get that so we can have it for our
That
reception
will
out there
be
in the
keeping
front
it till March.
till March.
I don't
And then
know.
you can give it some fine tune-ups before,
Yeah.
okay? See if you can, see if it's possible. We'll look into
But it's
that.
Christmas oriented.
That's okay,
Yeah.
that's all right.
It's covered with Christmas cards.
It's what,
actually.
100-year celebration, remember,
Juanita.
a lot of Christmas.
It was like last
Oh.
minute, so we had to come up with what we could.
The mistletoe will be
Yeah.
dry.
Okay, we'll do the best we can. And matter of fact, you might want to be thinking about it, and you can still convert it to a different theme. You still have time to think about it and convert it to a theme more appropriate maybe for March, or a theme more appropriate to the celebration.
The roof is covered with copies of children's Christmas books.
Okay.
So the roof is covered with, it's all Christmas.
All right. Well, maybe you can put something, work with
Christmas in March.
Denise, and maybe you can turn that into.
Christmas in March.
Well, or something that has to do with the anniversary, the 100-year anniversary, that you can make it related to that. And you still have time to think about that.
We do?
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, and then I wanted to
We did-
report back in the same topic for Friends that the Jim Click raffle is tomorrow, and I'm going to attend the raffle, but Friends collected $1,600 from the sale of tickets for that.
Good,
So that's all I wanted to say on
good.
that.
And hopefully he might give it, because last time he threw in an extra $1,000 for everybody.
This time you have to be present. This time you have to be present at the drawing, and your name has to come out of the drawing to get the extra 1,000.
Oh,
But I'm going to go.
good, good.
Unless he changes his mind at the last minute, because he did that at the last minute as a surprise last year. So we'll see.
All righty. Also, I forgot to mention something. I'm going to go back to item 5 on the agenda, reception. We also discussed, and we did give direction to Danitza. There's going to be she's going to be ordering a 100th year anniversary plaque that will have the names of all the board members here. So there, it's going to be put up at the entrance there with the librarian name and everything there. So that's going to be a historical fact. So hopefully in 100 years, they'll know who celebrated the first 100 years and what we did and everything in that manner. So she's ordering that plaque, then that'll be put up at the front of the library there. Okay, now I'm going back to item 6 on the agenda, board reports. Current events, summaries must be brief, and there cannot be any proposal, discussion, deliberation, or legal action taken. Jerry? Brian?
Nothing.
Ed?
I'm good.
Marva? Juanita? Library Director's Report. Danitza, you're on.
I finished the annual public library report for fiscal year 2022 last week. That includes COVID-19 information, library and contact information, library classification and structure, general information and services that we have, paid staff, library revenue, library expenditures, capital revenue, electronic services, collection and circulation information, our in-person programs, our in-person off-site programs, any virtual programs that we've had, pre-recorded presentations, self-directed activities, outlet information, outlet technology and connectivity information, and outlet totals. And those specific sections go into detail. And it took a while, but I did have statistics from year-round statistics that are in your packet. And that has been sent out to the state library, to Chris Guerra. And once he has all the reports from all the libraries in the state, he will provide a link, and I will provide that link to the board so you may look at the statistics.
Okay,
Time consuming, but it got done.
good.
Next one, Tech Tuesdays. If you see on your board packet, Karina and Luis have been doing Tech Tuesdays at the main library, and we have a good set of people going. And, it's just basic how to do a search. I know they worked on the Canva program, and they created, what did they create? They created flyers, and that's been going well for the adult community here in Nogales. I'll have Denise talk about the next couple of items.
So we as well did a casita over at the park. It was challenging because we started on a Monday, and I think it needed to be ready by a Friday. So we got a theme. We did the peanuts. So we had the peanuts up in the front. We painted the casita. We put the lights. So all the staff members we were getting at it. It was really nice. The weather didn't help out. We struggled a lot trying to put the peanuts in wrapping paper because it was cardboard. They made it through the parade, through the next day, but they fell off. But we still have Snoopy up there and our name. Rio Rico Library has been doing great with the activities. They've been having a lot of outreach programs as well, and a lot of patrons going in. They had a pine cone painting event at the library. It was just the regular pine cones that you find outside. They painted them, put glitter, or they made them a reindeer. So they had, I think, about 30 kids show up to that event. So they've been doing great. Tubac Library has also been doing a lot of events. The most recent one was the holiday decorating at the library. So patrons can just go in. They donated some decorations. Staff went out to help as well, and we just decorated the library and put it all Christmas themed. The librarian up in Tubac, she had treats and snacks for the patrons, and the patrons also brought over treats and snacks for the decorating event. It was really nice. Rio Rico Library, again, they're going to have a gingerbread house event today at 3. They have 25 kids signed up. They kind of opened the invitation. If they still have some, they'll let more kids go in. It's just basic making your own gingerbread. We bought all the treats for the gingerbread houses. So that happens today at 3. And we have the play down here at 3:30. So the events are growing and more people are showing up to the events up in Rio Rico, which is good. And then, the play, you want me to talk about this one? Me and Laura are attending the Childhood Education Committee with the county. We meet every month at the old courthouse, and they're really, they're more focusing on the event up in February. So in February, it's celebrating the early education month for the children. And they're planning to do like an outreach program up at the Calabasas School, where each program sets up a booth and does like a small activity for the children, whether it's crafts, whether it's story time. So the library is included in those type of programs. We are attending those meetings. I mentioned the 100th anniversary of the library. They're really interested. They offered their help. And we're also in connection with the county with the activities and the outreach programs.
And I'm just going to mention I was at the Sonoita Library yesterday speaking with Lynette, and she has obtained a lot of toys that have been donated by the community and from her other job. So she's going to be giving out Christmas toys to the local families next week.
Good.
Something new, something fun. So something's going on at every library. I'm really proud of staff. They've done an amazing job. And I do want to add one more thing that was not on the agenda that is going to be happening next year. The library is going to be part of the Act 1 Culture Pass. The Culture Pass is going to provide passes for library card holders to check out. That gives them 2 admissions to visit Arizona's art and cultural institution, whether it's the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum, the Tucson Museum of Art, the Reed Park Zoo. Yeah, free admission. I'm just setting that up. I have been in talks with Ann Osborne, who's the Culture Pass coordinator, and we're just finishing out setting those details out, and I will let you know more in January.
Okay.
I think that's it for now.
Juanita?
Yes, thank you. Especially congratulations on on preparing your annual library report. Good work. Thank you.
Barbara?
Nothing on that topic.
Ed?
No.
Brian? Jerry?
No.
Okay, let's move on to future agenda items. Juanita?
I hope that we will have a Sonoita building update from
Okay, well,
Juan Valdera.
yeah, we'll see.
Look forward to that.
That is on there in January. It's on there every month until it gets done, but we'll make sure.
Yeah.
Danita will look into that. Anything else?
No.
Okay, Marva?
We'll probably have a friends report,
Okay,
so.
Ed?
Concur with her. No,
Brian?
Nothing.
Jerry?
nothing.
Okay, for my future agenda items, Danita, we need to start thinking about your budget for next year. I know that the city manager and the deputy, they want to start working on that in February. I understand, so we need to come to an accord what we want to see at the library for their budget so that we can put on a presentation also as a board and help Danitza during her presentation to the mayor and council. Okay? And also, Danitza, if we can rotate in January, you can have Tubec and Rio Rico library presentations come in here to make a presentation. Even if you have to put up a sign, their library closed for 1 hour, 2 hours, while they come here to make a presentation, that's fine. Just put it up 48 hours ahead of time that the library will be closed from 10:30 to 12 o'clock for this. They have to give a presentation to the board.
Let me just clarify, Chairman Varona. So you want 2 back in Rio Rico for January, right?
Yes,
And do you want Luis and Laura to come back in February?
in February.
Correct. Okay, you got it.
We can kind of alternate each one so that we can keep current of what's going on there. And then when the Sonoita one opens up, we're going to bring the Sonoita one in there though too. But even if you're shorthanded, just go ahead and put that it'll be closed for a board presentation. And if those patrons want to come here to listen to it, they can more than welcome to come.
Will do.
May I
Yes,
say something?
absolutely.
Yes, about that, during COVID, we had written reports from each of the branches, and I really thought that was very helpful.
Every
So,
month we had it.
I really, yeah, I don't know if they could continue that,
So
all of them each.
written reports from the libraries, yeah, of course, I will let them know. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I think a presentation here so that the public, not just us, but the public can see what's going on is important though too. Because there's a lot of good things happening and it's our responsibility to share with the public so that they know what is happening. Okay, our next meeting date is scheduled for Wednesday, January the 11th at 10:30 here. Is there any problem with any member of that date? Jerry?
Yeah, I will be out of town on that date.
Okay, so Jerry will be absent from the meeting on that date, hopefully. Everybody else is okay with that date? I just gotta make sure there's 5 of us here. All righty. And then, there's a lot of things happening in January that we gotta keep up with, so let's all participate. All right, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting at 11:24. Ed?
Before we do that.
Sure.
I just wanted to say that Friends is going to be meeting at noon at the library
Okay?
to follow up.
We were right here.
No, we're meeting at the board room. At the request.
We'll decide that afterwards.
Yes, you can do that. Let me entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting at 11:25 a.m.
So moved.
Motion by Ed,
Second.
second by Juanita to adjourn this meeting at 11:25 a.m. This meeting is adjourned.